literally about 100 yards behind the mother bear at this point, and worse if she's going higher uphill. I also encountered a man carrying a 5.5-foot 2x4, chasing a bear on foot. We never ever would want somebody to be chasing bears on especially in anything using a baseball bat or a 2x4. You make that bear angry, you're setting yourself up to be swiped, mauled, or at least knocked down by the bear. I don't know if we can make a rule, or I don't know, it's just like basic.
We've said many times you cannot fix.
Even the lieutenant for health, you should talk about, he's like, I was the guy that was like, I almost wish, I don't really want somebody to get injured, but if somebody got injured that way, at least it would send a message to everybody else that's trying it. But I really encourage people to call patrol, call me, try not to take the bear issues into your own hands. Do not haze the mother bear with the injured cub right now. She's getting absolutely irritated, and she's hissing, she's huffing, because people are hazing her. Some of the people on one couple on Yellowstone didn't even realize she had cubs. So the mother bear came up on the deck. She didn't see the cubs. They started hazing the mother bear. They got the mother bear off, but then she sat there waiting. And they didn't know why the bear wouldn't keep moving, and the bear was waiting for its injured cub to come up. So the bear is black. It's a probably 275-pound black bear. So I ask residents to really use caution and hazing, call patrol. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm not even going to ask whether there's anybody else wants to. Annie, move us along.
Item 7, old business, none. Item 8, new business. Resolution 01081818, resolved that the PMC POA Board of Directors approve updating the Condor Cafe not to exceed $15,000 from budgeted operating funds. Whereas the bistro has not been updated for many years and is in need of a makeover to a new named Condor Cafe. Whereas the major components of the update consist of new paint, acoustic vocal art, and wood trimming. What's acoustic vocal art?
She'll explain.
Wood trimming, wood accents, barn door and cafe office area, decorating artifacts, country decor, depicting country cabin atmosphere, not to exceed $15,000 from budgeted operating funds. Therefore, be it resolved that the PMC POA Board of Directors approve Resolution 01081818, the refurbishing of the new Condor Cafe, not to exceed $15,000 from the budgeted operating funds, submitted by Director Throckmorton.
May I have a motion?
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
All right. We'll turn this over to Phyllis. Phyllis, we also comment on who you're working with to put this together.
This is a group of volunteers really from the community, and as we sat down in the Condo Cafe having breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we noticed that it's pretty drab and certainly does not depict what we want to see as a Condor Cafe. In that it has always it has been in the past a wannabe bistro style. So we have dead plants, we have bad artwork, and we have sound barriers that are made out of old linen. Anyway, if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. So a group of us would like to get together. This is, again, I say volunteer group. We're not asking for help by our staff, except in giving us advice on what we can and cannot do. It's not a rehab, it's a redecorating group. And we would like to paint, we would like to bring in local community art, we would like to put up some wood trimming and make the Condor Cafe look like a country Condor Cafe. Just sprucing it up, basically. We're already getting new flooring down there. If you remember last month, we had that approved by the board to put down some wooden flooring that also has some padding underneath it. That's going to brighten up the whole room down there. Our carpet is fraying, and so it's a safety thing that we have to do down there for the floor and for our staff so they don't trip. So in the meantime, we thought, and Pam Burkett is an interior decorator, and she's also a friend of mine, and she and I were talking about, well, for just a little bit of money, And it probably wouldn't even be $15,000, but that's just a little buffer. We can make the place look a lot better than it does right now. The acoustic, you asked about acoustical art. Ronan, who left just a few minutes ago, unfortunately, is a sound man, and he has ways of making sound barriers that, oh, there he is, Ronan, I was just talking about you. Did you hear your name mentioned? Anyway, we can take some local art that, like Mel has, photography, photographs, and have it enlarged and mounted on elements that are soundproof. And it hangs on the wall like a piece of art, but in fact, it cuts down noise. Do you want to add anything, Ronan?
I just want a technical thing that's not soundproofing, it's sound absorption.
Okay.
Basically make it more pleasing sonically inside, but it won't block sound from getting into the meeting rooms or anything like that.
Right. Okay, so that's what that is. And then, so I have a whole list of people who would volunteer to help paint. We've actually picked out 3 colors to choose from on our own, and we'll bring those to our first meeting when and if we have it. If this is approved, we'll move forward in a couple of weeks with our first meeting.
Okay. Further discussion from the board?
Yeah, just one question, when do you expect to actually do this?
We want to do it in September. We want to do it when they take out the carpet, or when they're ready to take out the carpet to put the floor down. We want to do the painting before that. We don't have a date for that yet because they're finishing up another job. They have measured for the flooring. I think they did that last week. And so as soon as we know what that date is that they're coming to install, we'll get in there and start painting.
You can add me to your wall.
To the painting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question for clarification. How does the space occupied by the Condor Cafe tie in with the plans for renovation? Is the area still going to be used as a restaurant at all?
According to what Brent said this morning, it will not be used as a restaurant. It will be turned into 4 meeting rooms and probably expanded, I would imagine. So this would be something we would do now. I don't know when we'd be getting to that part, that phase in the planning.
I think it's basically phase 3.
Yeah, it's basically freight, so I don't know how long it would take. So,
It's for the immediate future, but I'll bet it's 6 months anyway, if not a year. Any other board questions, Sandy?
When you do that, will you consider also the ante rooms, the one that, where you enter and pay your bill, and the one to the left on the way to the bathroom?
yes, actually Karen and I talked about, we've been a couple of times, the flooring is gonna go all the way out into that, right at the foot of the stairs, and then into the area where the restroom is. So what Pam and I discussed is that we would really redecorate the restroom and that area leading into the restroom with some pretty things that would not be attached to anything or would require us to demolish anything. There would be standalone artistic kinds of forms, artwork, things that are functional for the staff, for storage, like maybe an armoire for linens that currently are laying on the table in the middle of the room and all the way to the bathroom. So just cleaning it up and making it look a little bit more prettier and a little bit more inviting for all of us who enjoy going down there for breakfast and lunch and dinner.
No vulture pictures, please.
Well, we are going to have probably an art feature that would be a condor, not unlike what we have in the lounge here, but it won't be the vulture type sitting on a fence ready to. Yeah, we got the picture.
Are there any other board questions? You have a motion made and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Resolution.
Before we get to this next one, there is a stack here coming, and we will turn these over to John to walk through because they're all generated through the governing docs, and the vast majority of which reflect those bylaw changes that were not able to be on the ballot because of other issues. So what we're about to go through has been through governing docs, been through the board once before, and didn't make it to the ballot. So with that, read the next one.
thought John was-
Just read the resolution and then we'll
All right.
prepare for it.
Resolution 03-08-1818, resolved that the PMC POA Board of Directors approve revisions to bylaw 5.05, annual meeting agenda and nominations.
Stop there.
As I go through these, I'm going to ask Bill to help me out, because he was at the meeting where they actually reconsidered all of these, but I'll do my best. Okay, major changes to this bylaw, which concerns the meeting agendas, are the following. Right after any member who desires to have any matter, there is a parenthesis added, other than a bylaw amendment, into parenthesis. That's the first change. Second change is the next sentence, any matter, again, adding the same parenthetical statement, other than a bylaw amendment, is added. And then, part B on the next page, under nominations, a phrase has been added to the first sentence. Members may nominate themselves by submitting a letter of intent at the PMC POA business office. And to my knowledge, those are the only changes that were made last year, and there are no changes being made this year.
Bill, you concur with that? Yes. May I have a motion to approve resolution
So moved.
308-1818?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Further discussion from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So, why are we excluding? Thank you. Why are we excluding other than a bylaw amendment?
John?
What's the purpose of that?
It's almost been a year since I.
John.
Oh, Lee, go ahead, Lee. Lee.
Oh, good.
Different
Thank you.
process, I think we're going.
The purpose is that there is a procedure for bylaw amendments
Thank you.
other than this.
Yeah, I thought there was a different process. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next one, which is resolution 8-1818,
No, this is,
revisions bylaw 5.05.
this is,
No, no, that's it, I'm sorry, we're now at,
04-08-1818.
not going to consider 506. The committee's still working on that
so
one.
you're withdrawing 506?
Yes, withdrawing 506.
So,
Resolution 05-08-1819, resolved that the PMC POA Board of Directors approve revisions to bylaw 10.02, formation and purpose of assessment.
John?
Okay, this entire bylaw was revised almost 2 years ago now to conform with our budget process E14 and to comply with the civil code. And we do not currently do that, and we have not been conforming to our own existing bylaw when we do our budget process. So this is to bring everything up to date. Now, do you want me to go through all of the changes in it?
No, but I believe, am I correct, this is the one where there was a much discussion, Catherine got
Yes.
involved, and it was on the percentages were all done?
Yes, and we changed everything to
Yeah.
satisfy.
Everybody was happy when you was.
Yes.
All right, may I have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
And a second? Okay, any further discussion from the board members? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let's keep going, we're on a roll, let's go.
Resolution 06-08-1818, resolved that the PMC POA Board of Directors approve revisions to bylaw 10.03, budget formation.
Okay, let me get a
Okay.
motion first. So, and a second?
Second.
Okay, John?
Okay, so again, this is the companion bylaw, which is the formation of the budget. The same rationale applies. And this again complies with the calendar in E14.
Do I remember some confusion about the months? So this is correct?
This
on the
is
months?
correct.
All right, any discussion from the board? Comments? You have a motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh. Go ahead.
I'm just going to just clarify what 0203 adoption was just now. This is to take us through to the next June.
These all have to be on the next
Got
ballot.
it, okay, thanks.
This is because they didn't get on the last.
Right.
Go ahead.
Resolution 07081818, resolved that the PMC POA Board of Directors approve revisions to bylaw 1107, the election committee.
Okay, may I have a resolution? May I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second. John?
Okay, I'll go through these changes because there's a number of them. Added to the provision on the election committee is the following. The board of directors shall direct the confidential executive secretary to request each committee to select a member for the election committee. That's new. The election committee should, that's a change, consist of the corporate secretary, and so on. And then we have added some language to apply to people who might want to join the election committee who didn't come from other committees, just volunteers. And so the following language addresses this. And if volunteers apply and are approved by the board of directors, volunteers consisting of members in good standing.
And the
That
count.
doesn't read right, Lee. Can you read that? It doesn't read right. Bill, do you see that?
Election shall be convened no later than March.
Right, because I was ahead of you to fix something that was wrong. What's being presented.
We're
It's
still on
like the
we're
fourth
still on
line down. It says,
11.07.
and if volunteers apply and are approved by the board of directors, volunteers, old language, consisting of members in good standing, and then it just stops. That doesn't make sense. Maybe that's supposed to be stricken. You see that?
Yeah, it's disjointed. Something's wrong here, Bruce.
I think it's addressing
One person is
the,
selected from each standing committee,
Right.
as if volunteers apply and are approved, volunteers, okay, should. yeah,
There is a
should
way
be
you could read that,
volunteers,
it makes
Should
sense.
be member, yeah, that.
There is.
How about we pull this one
That's
and
bad
let-
wording in there.
Shall we pull this?
Pull this
Yeah,
one?
pull it because there's problems with the rest of it.
We are
Okay,
withdrawing.
we're pulling it.
Lee struck stuff in here that has popped up.
May I have a motion to withdraw
So moved.
11.07?
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, keep going.
Resolution 08081818, resolved that the PMC POA Board of Directors approve revision to bylaw 1104, conduct of meetings.
I have a motion.
So moved.
And a second. Got that, good. Okay, go ahead.
This one's short. All meetings of standing committees is added, and ad hoc committees of PMC POA shall be open meetings, and only members in good standing shall be permitted to participate, except as may be otherwise be provided by these bylaws. Committees shall conduct meetings in accordance with the common rules for all committees and rules promulgated by the board from time to time. Task force meetings may be open to all members at the discretion of the board. That's new language at the end. It addresses the meetings held by task force.
By definition, that means they may not.
Yes.
yeah, so, I'm sorry, I'll let you pick the motion.
Okay, well, let's get a motion.
We have it.
We always have a motion. Okay.
So, I think in the interest of transparency to the community, I'd like to modify this one and remove the last sentence. I think task forces are fine, great, but I think that they should be eligible to run thing.
Except when they involve the negotiation of potential contracts, please.
Well, task force
Separate,
can't
yeah.
negotiate.
Okay.
No, the meeting that we would have with the task force can be held in executive if it involves negotiating components of a potential contract.
But that's because of the executive committee, not because of the
Not
task
because of the
force.
task force.
Thank you, but it says
I-
they shall all be open.
Huh? Go ahead, John.
I'd like to address this. One of the reasons we put the word may in there, and I believe I recall this discussion, Bill can help me out, or Lee, is that there are task forces that could be appointed of professionals from outside PMC who could be brought in to look at, I don't know what, the budget, the accounting procedures, you know, it could be almost anything, a small task force appointed by the board that would be very uncomfortable operating with a whole bunch of members standing around staring at them. So the idea is to allow us to have task forces that can get their work done. I would rather leave the language the way it is.
Well, I've made a motion, do we get a second? Or-
We have some.
We had a second, it's a
To
motion.
my motion. To my motion to amend.
Oh, yeah, you want to amend?
Yes.
All right, do I have a second to his motion to amend? Did I get a second?
Yes.
All right, so now we're discussing the motion to amend. My only comment, I guess.
Give your, otherwise you're gonna.
All right, well, who else, anybody want to comment on that motion to amend? All right, I'm handing over the gavel for a minute. You know, the only comment I would make, I understand what you're saying, but wouldn't it be smarter to say that it can be closed only with approval of the board, so that if it's something special, where there is that event, the board can make that decision, they have to make a decision, it's not, I don't think the task force has that discretion, the board ought to have that discretion, so.
Right, but the board can do that anyhow. We have the right to do that anyhow.
You can't, you declare a meeting.
If we're an exec and we invite the task force in, we can,
No, but
discuss something.
he's raising a different kind of meeting. You've got a bunch of accountants who are looking at process, let's say, something like
Yeah.
that. And they want to meet private without it being open, public, open meeting. The board could authorize them to meet in private, I think.
I have no idea, it's not in our rules right now, it's not, we don't have anything, that's why this language is in here. And what I would do then is, I like your suggestion, I think it's very good, that we make it a board authorized decision.
Well, we do it in the positive, so that,
Yeah.
in the negative, they can't meet enclosed without
Without board approval.
without direct board approval.
That's
That's fair, that's fair.
Okay, we.
I'll take it.
Okay, so I'll amend my.
Will you'll amend it to that? Grace, do you know what we're saying here?
You're amending it to do what?
So we'll amend it to say that task force meetings shall be open to all members. However, the board, however, the board in its discretion may declare them confidential.
Okay, does that say?
Does that work?
Yeah, that's.
You got that, Rick? Was the seconder of your amendment okay with that? Was it, are you okay with that? All right, we have an amendment.
Amendment to the amendment.
Wait a minute,
I have,
skip the word.
shall be open to all members, however, the board at its discretion may what?
May declare that, may.
May declare the meeting closed. Let's say closed, otherwise. May declare the meeting closed.
Maybe a singular meeting closed, if you want to do multiple things, we'll have to come back.
A meeting. A meeting closed. May declare a meeting
A meeting closed.
closed.
Yes.
Well, I think you guys will look at this anyway to see if you screwed it up. But right now, we have a motion, we have an amendment to the motion, moved and seconded, all those in favor of the amendment.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we have a motion, I need a motion to approve the item as amended.
So,
Yes, a motion and a second. All right, we now have the motion to accept the amended motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We got through that.
Resolution 09081818, resolved that the PMC POA Board of Directors approve addition of bylaw 1304, authorization to accept nominations, contributions.
The,
We need a motion.
So moved.
And a second.
second,
Okay, go ahead, John.
one word change. The board may accept on behalf of the association and allocate any contribution, allocate is added. And then I have an amendment to this.
Then you want to amend it again? Well, wait a minute, first of all, it's and allocate, so it's two.
And allocate, and
So
then,
how do you want to amend that? You making a
we
motion to
have,
amend?
yeah, I have a motion to amend.
Yeah.
This comes also from the committee. At the very end, after association, the words "as designated by the contributor." That's my motion. Add those words.
What does that mean? So if I want to give you money for soccer balls, this means they have to distribute the money for soccer balls. Is that what that
They
means?
can't get
Yes.
soccer goals with it.
Right.
They can't get soccer goals with it.
Yeah, you can't buy something else. Is that what this means? All right, now we have a motion to amend. Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
And a second?
Second.
All right, discussion on the motion to amend. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now we have a motion.
Yeah.
I need a motion to approve the motion as amended.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We got this down.
Next one.
Resolution 10081818, resolved that the PMC POA Board of Directors approve funds from the budgeted operating fund not to exceed $25,000 to install association camera systems on certain association property, which includes the wiring.
Here, I think we're back to you reading the whereas, so
Yeah.
we're off the bylaw, Chair.
Whereas the installation of camera systems would be beneficial in protecting association property, therefore be it resolved that the PMC POA Board of Directors approve Resolution 10081818, the installation of association cameras on certain association property not to exceed $25,000 from the operating fund, respectfully submitted by Director Lewis.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second. All right, Karen, you want to explain this one?
I even copied this because I know Brian's going to ask me a technical question.
Microphone.
We have had, we've had some theft out and about up in the maintenance yard. We've had graffiti at the bathrooms in the park, all of that. So we want to put up cameras. We're not spying, but we're trying to protect our property. We can't seem to catch these people. So we've had hay stolen from the barn and all of that. And also it'll be a benefit, which our cameras that we've installed inside have been a benefit when we've had different incidences. So we want to put some cameras up. They'll be at the post office, out by the restrooms in the park, the maintenance yard, and the equestrian center. So this is and another one in our parking lot too that will go out a little bit further.
This parking lot over here.
This parking lot by the building. So that's why we want to put up these cameras. They're really good cameras. They're not wireless, not these right here. These are, these cameras are what they use in LAX. They're really good, they're good quality, that kind of thing. So anyway, they're going to be point to point, and right now they're set up so there is 2 or 3 of us in this whole building that can see what the cameras are producing. And they only work by motion. So if there's nothing going on, they're not filming.
How long are they retained?
It depends on how long there's no motion.
Well, we've had some retention policy last year.
We've got 3 incidences that we've pulled off the camera and have stored.
Well, but these go into our server just like the other cameras do.
Right.
And they're kept for whatever the rules are currently.
After a while, they will repeat over, they will film over. But when we know there's an incident, we call IT, they pull that part off and store it in a file for
Is
us.
that consistent with our policy?
I thought these were wired, are they not, is the video not wired, or is
They're hardwired.
the data?
They're hardwired, but we don't have a SD card to pull out and store. So they can go for a year if there's not much activity, like the lounge closes and doesn't have much activity during the day. And then after nighttime,
there's no activity when they close, so they're not on.
Right, so they're hardwired, it goes to a storage, to
Yes.
a disk array,
Yes.
basically.
Yes, an NVR,
Right.
okay.
How much, what's the capacity we're talking about? Can they keep a year's worth of stuff?
It depends on how often the motion goes on.
Well, that means there's a limited capacity. What's the limit?
Well, if it's on it, if it's wired and it goes to a disk system, as long as it's a disk system, you don't override the file.
It will override.
If it uses an SD card, then that's in the camera
That's
itself,
override.
and that could get overwritten.
Yes.
Right, so we don't want it, we don't want
We
technology.
want it to go to a disk.
We want it to go to a disk array.
Array, yeah.
Right, that gets backed up, that's what we want.
So with that caveat,
Does something advise us when we're approaching?
No,
Overload?
it will just override.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, when I asked them about taking the SD card out, these cameras are not designed that way.
Yeah,
So
it seems like we might want to ask some more questions on.
they've already got a whole lot of cameras around here.
Well,
But all those go to a storage array.
for the benefit of the board, bring us back and tell us about storage for all this stuff, so we all understand what we're doing. All right?
Yes.
Other questions from the board?
Are these cameras going to be used to monitor traffic in and out of PMC?
No.
Or just for the property?
Just for the property.
Well, now, if there's a one at the transfer site,
No. We don't have one yet, we're gonna put one there.
but you're putting one there, so it's motion activated, so it will see the cars that go in. Is that what you're asking? So it will do that, but it's not on Mil Potrero looking at
Yeah,
traffic.
that's what I meant.
And it's not up in the houses looking at
Okay.
Yeah. It's all PMC property and facilities.
And it's, okay.
Yeah. Any other questions from the board? Any comments from the members? You have a motion made and seconded all.
Okay, good. I may be misunderstanding something, but, I used to run small computer systems. We had a backup procedure, every weekly backup, every month, every year. And so the year backup, I wouldn't do that one again to the following year, but every month I'm doing a backup. So there's 11 months worth of monthly backups before the next year backup, and so there was never anything missed that way. We just archived physical, now this may not be physical anymore, we just archived the physical disk, just as long as you needed to. So you can always go back and access even 3 years ago. So,
I
just
guess
by
I'm
virtue of backup.
able to figure out the storage issues.
What do you want to do?
Because the answer's not
Well,
gonna change.
I think, yes, I think this is what we talked about. That doesn't negate whether we want to understand our whole storage process. And if we want more storage, we don't have enough, we can always add that. So I would urge us to go ahead and think, do this as